not talking about this type of masking. Everyone loves a good mask. You do, I do, and I'm not talking about this mask. And I'm not talking about this mask. I'm talking about psychological masking. You don't know what I'm talking about? Well, this is what the definition of masking is. Masking refers to when an individual hides or suppresses symptoms, behaviors, or difficulties they are experiencing. While it can happen intentionally, it often occurs unconsciously over time as an individual receives negative feedback for their authentic presentation. So, do you really do it? What is the advantage of you doing it? How long have you been doing it for? Ask yourself these questions and then write the answers in the comment section. When people think about masking, they often think about those who are on the neurodivergent spectrum, those who have autism, ADHD, and other things of that ilk. I would first love to share why I mask and how long I've been masking for. And this may be a little surprise to you. Why do I mask? Because I'm neurodivergent. I am autistic. I have anxiety and depression disorders. I don't want to make others feel bad or feel hurt by my presence. I am often misunderstood. I have been traumatized. I have PTSD. I have been SA'd. I've experienced DV, and I have also experienced the R word. I protect myself from emotional harm. I don't want people to reject my truest self. I have low self-esteem. How many of those do you relate to? And again, let me know in the comment section exactly why it is that you mask. I have been masking from the time I was a child. I grew up in a very traumatic space where I was never able to reach out to anyone and get the help that I needed. I was ignored a lot. I was often told up until I was an adult how difficult and complicated I am. People could not understand how I think. I was even advanced at school, but still not being able to comprehend certain things. It was a bit strange. But I have been masking for all of my life, to the point where I complicated matters by confusing that for my truest self, to a point where I have always said, and this has gone out throughout my entire being until now, how really am I supposed to be? What is it like to be quote unquote normal? Because I am not sure what that is. I have realized in later years that everyone has their own perspective of normal. It's just that we are expected to be like everyone else. And how dare we be a little bit different, because we would be cancelled or we would be neglected, ignored, side-eyed, all the rest of things, which isn't quite right, because the world needs uniqueness. Masking is also known as camouflaging. With camouflaging, of course, you blend into your surroundings. That may be okay for a short period of time, but it is not good for the long term. Why? It is not good to mask for a long period of time because it is associated with anxiety, depression, increased stress, exhaustion, and isolation. Those things then lead on to physical circumstances. You may not have had certain illnesses, chronic illnesses beforehand, but they can trigger those. Or if you have chronic illnesses, they can make them worse. Masking for the long term is exhausting. It literally can prolong chronic fatigue. However, there are some advantages to short-term masking. Sometimes we are in situations where we need to conform. However, it can become still a bit of a problem when the short term can become long term. And note, we don't make a conscious decision to change the short term to long term. It just happens because a situation may be repetitive in nature, like going to school, for instance. Therefore, every day we short-term mask for an extended period of time. We keep doing that until it becomes our day-to-day norm and we don't think of it. Then when we feel anxiety or depression or any other such thing, when we feel lost and alone and we can't find our sense of self, it's because of prolonged masking. So masking is camouflaging, is hiding. So anything that we do in masking is basically to hide from reality or to hide ourselves so that we can conform to what is happening around us. And the ways that we do it are having an anger mask, a happy mask, a people-pleasing mask, humor mask, the martyr or victim mask. You have the bullying mask, sense of calmness mask, the self-bashing mask, the avoidant aloof mask, socializer mask, and the conformist mask. There are so many ways to blend in and to hide. And whilst honing that skill and we become even better at it, we think that we have become that particular thing. While inside, when we are on our own, when we are away from the crowds and what we are hiding from or hiding amongst, we tear up, we break down inside, we're upset, we can't quite fathom who we are meant to be. And we so wish that we could be our truest selves. Some ways that you can manage this or remove masking altogether is awareness, first and foremost. Becoming aware that you are wearing a mask and that it is unhealthy. It is not the thing to do. It is not something to do to appease the masses because it does not help you. I know for sure in my personal life that took years to happen. I didn't even know, as I said at first, that I was wearing a mask. I did not realize that was the term for what I had been doing. But once I realized it and I became more mature in my thinking around my mental health and more accepting that I have mental health circumstances, I became aware of why I do what I do and when I do it and who I do it to or for. And that is the first step on trying to get to your truest self and become more comfortable with your truest self. But of course, that's still difficult. Another thing which ties into the awareness is recognition. Recognizing it, coming face to face with it and realizing, okay, this ain't great. This isn't something I should be aspiring towards. What can I do to fix this? And then the realization that, yeah, I do mask. And yeah, I have been fooling myself. And yeah, I tend to think that this is okay when it's not. I lie to myself. And then what action do you make? Are you actually going to do something about it? Or are you still going to camouflage and pretend? It's hard. No matter what you do, it's hard. It's a process. It's not something that you can do overnight. And because the world is becoming more and more cancel culture-esque, it's harder to be just yourself. Even though we've become more accepting, so to speak, for some strange reason, we are even less accepting of it. I know that is a paradox. That's probably what I want to say. But it's true. Think about it. The more accepting we say we are, the less accepting we seem to be because we go from 0 to 100 and 100 to 0. And we feel less able to be ourselves in a world where we are told that we should be ourselves, as long as we're like everyone else. It is almost 3 months since I have gone through my SA, and I am no closer to feeling fantastic. Actually, I've gone further down the hole in a sense, but I am very good at masking. Even when folks around me may think otherwise, no one truly knows my truest self. I know me, however, and because I continue to mask successfully, I have seen it play out in my physical health, where certain aspects of my physical health have gotten worse. I feel less motivated to do things and to complete things that I love. Things have changed. It's funny how paradoxical masking can be. You hide yourself from the world, but in the end, you cannot hide from yourself. After going through SA, masking is the last thing you need. Any of you out there who has gone through SA, whether it be recently or a long time ago, please let me know if you've been masking to try to survive. I know it's hard. Take care, my beautiful people. Remember, I am Zana, otherwise known as Sue, and you can call me either. And until next time, this has been Let's Have a Chat. I'll talk to you later. Bye now.